time to update my makeup bag. I do this about every 1 to 2 weeks, and it's that time of the month. So I usually rotate my base products like the foundation or primer and concealer about every month or two, like every 1 to 2 months. But the cheap products like the highlight, blush, and bronzer, all that, I rotate that every 1 to 2 weeks. If I really like the collection of stuff I have, then I keep it for up to 2 weeks. But if I get bored in a week, it's gone. So I'll just take this all out. I will get into whatever else is in these little like pockets another time. For this month, I'm working on these 2 foundations. These are like some of my oldest foundations, and I just want to finish them before they expire. But they're a little too dark for me because I got this shade. I got these shades before I started wearing sunscreen more regularly and wearing hats more regularly to protect my face. So they're now a little too dark for me, and to lighten it, I mix it with this yellow color corrector. But yes, so this is what I'm working on for the next month or 2. Now, this is a concealer that I've been using. I stopped using this concealer because it creased so bad, but then I figured I'll add a primer to it, like an eyeshadow primer, to help it not crease, and it's been working very well. I like that a lot more than having to set this with powder because it just looks so cakey with powder, but with this I don't have to set it with powder and it lasts so much better. So I'm loving that combination. I'm thankful that I figured that out because I was worried about having to declutter this, and I was worried about not having any use for my eyeshadow primer because I don't really wear eyeshadow that much, so I'm thankful for that. This literally is just samples of moisturizers, but I added in with my primer when I feel like a bit dry that day, or if it's an extra colder day, then I combine that with my primer. I'm almost out of this actually. I don't know if you can hear that. It's almost out. I think in a couple of weeks it's bye-bye, which I'm excited about because I like hard candy primers. This is like my 3rd or 4th. I've tried different ones. I like the long-lasting one better. The long wear primer. This one I wanted to try because of my pores, but it's not as effective, but it's still good. So I've had this for about 6 months now. I'm excited that it's almost done. And this one, this is a radiant primer, which I really don't need because I'm an oily skin person. So far it's been working well in combination with this because this is really matte. When I add this primer with it, then it kind of gives me the finish that this gives me, which is a bit more glowy. So it kind of works out nicely like that. Now, these are the cheap products I've been using the last 2 weeks or so. This palette, this really surprised me because when I first got it, I thought this was going to be too dark for me, right? But thankfully, this is not too pigmented. Like, it's buildable, so you can really get the pigment if you're not careful. But thankfully, with a light hand, it works well. Like this, I thought it was going to be too dark. I thought it was going to be too dark for me, but it's nice and cool toned enough that with a light hand, it's the first time I've ever actually seen contour work on me. I was so surprised. I thought, like, why do I look so chiseled? It's because of this. And this is such a great fall winter shade, like a classic berry blush. And this, I thought it was going to be too dark, but it's actually, it doesn't have that much dark base pigment, so when you put it on your cheek, it doesn't give you like that shadow cast. So I was really pleasantly surprised with this. I thought I was going to have to declutter it, but I'm so happy I don't have to, and I can't wait to use it again. Okay, let's go in order. So after bronzer, I put on highlight. These are the 2 highlighters that I had in my rotation this month. I really wanted to be reacquainted with my Becca Opal because this is one of my first high-end purchases, and I don't know about you, but because I paid so much for it at the time, I didn't have anything this expensive at the time, I didn't want to use it up so quickly. So through the years I just neglected it, but now I'm like, I want to get my money's worth, you know, like I paid for this, I want to use it because it's really good. It's really good. Same thing with this. This is one of the OGs. Like, this was the highlight before Becca became a thing. So with this one, it is so potent that you just really need the smallest amount for it to show up, and I really enjoyed that too. They both give off a very different finish. Now for the blushes. Oh my goodness, where do I begin? Okay, so CoverGirl Cheekers. Good standard neutral blush that could go with any look, and it had a sheen. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. This one, at first I thought it was going to be too dark, but I like this because it has the matte side and the shiny side. I haven't tried this as a highlight because I find that it might be too dark, but mixing it together gives your cheek like such a nice sheen. It's really pretty. I like that. This is, at first I thought it was going to be too dark as well, but it's a nice fall blush, like a rich fall blush. Happy about that. Now, this is another one of those fall blushes. When I saw this, it's a wine color. I'm like, yep, speaks to fall, right? Like, it just speaks fall to me. There's all these scrape markings because I use this to make Franken blushes. Same thing with the Instain from the Balm, as you can tell. Yeah, I really like these two. This one is very, very pigmented, I guess, especially because after I scraped it, yeah, the product is a lot more loose, and if you're not careful, it'll really look like Miss Piggy real fast. This one, I really adored this one. Oh my goodness, this is a range of blushes I can't wait to get more of because it's so good. It's so good. Again, it's a bit cooler of a neutral blush, but it also works with a lot of looks, so I really enjoyed that. Now this one, again, is a depotted Arbonne blush, and I like it because it has that nice, like a berry wine sheen to it. It's really pretty. So I really enjoyed this month's makeup bag, and I really enjoyed it. None of it is a dud. I was excited every day to try something else, like a different combination that day. Yeah, so that's what I've been using for the first 10 days of November. So I'm switching it up for these guys. So these are the two palettes that I'm going to be using for the next 10 days. Face palettes are my weakness. I cannot wait to do my makeup tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to start with this palette. But anyway, so those are the palettes I'm going to be putting in my makeup bag. Oh, another thing that I'll be switching out are my brushes. So every time I switch out my base palettes, I change the brushes as well. Thank you for changing my makeup bag with me. Have a good night. Bye.